Welcome back. It is not just control of Congress and a bunch of governors' mansions up for grabs in 4 days. Voters will also decide hundreds of seats in state legislatures. And with them, the potential to swing the balance of power on issues of local, national, and even presidential importance. Because guess what? The Supreme Court's docket in the fall includes a case out of North Carolina, which, depending on how this conservative court rules in June, could give state legislatures, and whichever party controls them, extraordinary power over federal elections heading into 2024, essentially eliminating the state judiciary. So to break down which races to watch, I'm joined by Reid Wilson. He's editor-in-chief of the terrific new publication called Plurbius News. Reid, it's good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Wave years are disastrous for the party that loses when it comes to state legislatures. Are Democrats facing another 2010?
No, they're not, because we're still feeling the reverberations of 2010. I mean, we forget just how many state legislative seats that Democrats lost in 2010, and they never made up those gains.
Never got them back.
It's taken 12 years, and there are Republicans still hold about 2/3 of the state legislative chambers across the country. Redistricting that impacts the congressional level, we all know about it, we all talk about it. It's magnified at the state legislative level. So there are fewer competitive seats than there have ever been before.
Right.
So, no, Democrats aren't going to lose a lot of seats because there aren't a lot of seats to lose.
All right, let's break it down. You identified, let's put our map back up there you identified essentially, I think it's 9 states that have chambers in play.
Yeah.
You know, Arizona, Nevada, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Look, they all sound familiar.
Right. These are the states we talk about in Senate races, in governor's races, in presidential contests, and in state legislative chambers. In all 4 of those states, Republicans hold control of both chambers of the state legislature. And although there are opportunities for Democrats to pick them up, in part because Democrats have some really strong gubernatorial candidates, especially in Michigan and Pennsylvania.
I was just going to say.
Coattails are a thing.
Are they a thing? Well, everybody's wondering if there's going to be coattails for Fetterman. All right. What does Shapiro coattails and Whitmer coattails mean for the state
so
ledge?
if Whitmer is running far enough ahead of Tudor Dixon that Democrats suddenly think that they've got a shot at winning back legislative chambers in Michigan for the first time in a very long time. In Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro running so far ahead of Doug Mastriano that Democrats think the same thing. And I'll tell you, at the beginning of the cycle, we weren't really talking about Pennsylvania as a hot topic because Republicans had a sufficient majority. Now it looks like it's at least in play. Let me be clear. I think Republicans are still, by far, they have a strong opportunity to keep both those chambers, but Democrats have a shot. They might not have had a shot had somebody other than Doug Mastriano been the nominee.
All right. I want to single out 3 states in different ways. Nevada is a state that I think Democrats had full control of.
Yeah.
And is this one of those that we could see the whole thing flip the other way?
Yes, and we saw the whole thing flip the other way a couple of cycles ago. And again, I mean, Nevada is a very closely divided state. Democrats have a small majority now. Republicans had a small majority a couple of years ago.
This is something, this could be a decade-long boomerang.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Wisconsin, it's not in play,
yeah,
but a supermajority is in play.
That's true.
Is there a scenario where Evers wins and Republicans get a supermajority?
Yes, there is. And when I talk about redistricting at the federal level, Wisconsin is that issue magnified. I mean, there is no way, and forget gerrymandering for a second. There's simply no way to draw these districts that allocate seats in a way that reflects the overall state population. In Wisconsin, Republicans win by a small margin on a statewide level, but there are basically 2-to-1 Republican seats because you can't draw Milwaukee any other way.
How about Arizona?
Arizona is a state where the state Senate is close and could potentially
It's
flip.
probably sitting on the... okay.
There were some opportunities that Democrats missed in primaries earlier this year where the right candidate didn't get through. They didn't field candidates in a couple of seats. There were some early rumblings that Arizona Democrats effectively left control of the chamber on the table.
Democrats have been criticized in the past for not putting enough focus on this. Do they deserve the criticism this time, or have they gotten their act together?
No, the Democrats have spent a lot more money than Republicans in a lot of these states. We're seeing some outside groups called things like the States Project, Forward Majority, putting forward a lot more money than the traditional Democratic group, the Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee. But hey, these races that used to cost $100,000 suddenly cost $1 million.
Give me Pluribus News in 10 seconds.
All right. What happens in California or Texas or Florida today is happening in 25 states next year. We're going to spot the trends and tell you where the good things or bad things are coming in those states.
This is smart reporting on state legislatures that impact all of our lives. Congrats on that, Reid Wilson, and thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.